So we know that these are a couple of things that we've already talked about. We know that people enjoy stories that include them, that make them feel included, and people buy from those they like and trust. So what does this mean for your storytelling? You have no choice. You must show who you are, warts and all, to really gain a following that knows, likes, and trusts and buys from you over and over and over again. So my personal example of this is when I saw Sean and Mel, Sean reminded me of my brother. Like, he looks like him and he talked like him. And Mel was so sweet. Like, I could just feel it from the screen. She was like just so sweet. And so that's honestly, I believe, looking back on it and like going into my own subconscious or whatever, I think that's why I jumped in so quick. Because I knew, liked, and trusted them, or I felt like I did from the first couple of videos. So I'm going to talk about 3 ways to kind of create that for yourself and for your audience. One of the first ways is to be descriptive when you're telling your story. So imagine this, you're telling your story, you look like a college football player, and say that you actually did play football. And you're talking about a story about parenting, right? So instead of saying, I was really struggling with this disagreement with my daughter, you would say, I thought of my years getting slammed on that football field by college athletes and decided I was not going to lose this battle to my 5-foot-tall, 15-year-old daughter. So there's some description, there's some, it just helps people understand who you are a little bit better instead of just saying, I had this disagreement with my daughter. Like, nobody, I mean, yeah, people have disagreements with their daughter, but it's just not as descriptive and detailed as it needs to be in order to really, like, if you say, I thought of my years getting slammed on that football field by college athletes, the people who play football are going to relate a lot more to that. So that's kind of how you bring out who you are. The problem is, a lot of times though, I think we don't even know who we really are. Like, we're just like, people ask us questions and we're like for me, I just feel kind of like an average person. And so that's not interesting and nobody cares. Like, nobody's going to be pulled into that story. So here is a little, I guess, exercise that you can do for that. So you fill out these sentences. I'm the type of girl or guy who will, and then fill in the blank. There's 3 sentences I'm going to share with you. You can relate them to each other or they can be separate from each other. But I filled this out for myself and it was really hard, like doing this exercise. So the first one is, I'm the type of girl/guy who will, then fill in the blank. The second one is, I never, then fill in the blank. And the third one is, but I'll always, and then fill in the blank. So I was looking at these and I was like, I'm the type of girl who will, I just couldn't think of anything. So what I ended up coming up with is like, I'm the type of girl who will eat peanut butter on almost anything. I never have tried it with salsa, but I'll always give a new combination a try. So that was mine. Like, that's what I could think of. I freaking love peanut butter. And I have tried it in a lot of different combinations. I'm willing to try whatever, but I still don't really mix it with some things. So that tells people a little bit more about me. And so you can try that exercise for yourself and do it with a lot of different topics, then find a story that goes with that and write the story. So my story that goes with that is kind of like, I was visiting my parents while on a mission trip in Cleveland, Ohio, and we went to this awesome cheese factory place, like cheese restaurant. So every sandwich they made was like cheese oriented. And so of course I went, I'm like, how are they going to use peanut butter with cheese? Like, I was just trying to figure that out because I knew there had to be some peanut butter sandwich there. And I was looking at the menu and I saw like a cream cheese sandwich. I was like, I wonder how that's going to taste. So I just ordered it. It was a peanut butter and banana sandwich, and you could dip it. I think it actually had cream cheese on it, and you could dip it in like this raspberry sauce. And it was so good. And I'll just tell you, like, my my dream is to like travel the world and try all of the different food. So I feel like I just told you guys like 90% more than my page viewers know about me, because we just don't get detailed enough about our stories in our life and what we like and what we, you know, and sometimes it takes doing an exercise like this to really think about it and bring out stories. But I promise it will happen. If you take the time to do these little exercises, you'll have cool stuff to share. And then my last thing, my last point to share with you guys is kind of a way to figure out how your audience will relate to you or who will relate to you, is like think about music or a movie or you know, actors or somebody, like stories, and think about why you relate to those things. Like, do you relate to a certain character in a movie, and why? Is it because you want to be like them, or is it because you really relate to something that they do or how they are? Now, you want to find people that you actually are like, not someone that you just wish you were, because then you can study them and figure out what it is that's similar to you, and that will help you get to know yourself better. You can also gather a big group of people together like this and say, what is your first impression of me? Because you really can't look in the mirror and tell yourself what your first impression is, because you don't know. So you have to go out and like ask strangers, what's your first impression of me? And if you were really brave, you could do this as a video on your page. You'd be like, what, like, I'm not gonna tell you anything about me. What do you guys think? Like, what's your first impression of me? Like, and you can't be stupid. Like, you can't say like, you look nice, or you're, you know, not, no body things like you're too thin, or you look like, you know, you're kind, or something. Like, you have to be like, you look like you drink chamomile tea and you walk your dog in the evenings, and you would do anything for someone on their birthday. Like, I don't know, like, you're generous. You just have to come up with like specific things with this, you know, and you can tell your audience that, like, I want to hear specifics, nothing super rude, but like, I want to hear specifics of what you guys think your first impression of me. And so these are exercises that you can do that will make you more interesting, that will bring in the people who are like you, the people who know, like, and trust you and will buy from you over and over and over again. So that's storytelling with advertising kind of mixed in.